Now you 21st century people get it. That all that social stuff is just fabrication. It's made up. Things about what brand of clothes you wear and what shoes you wear, how expensive things are or not, determines who you are. What your social status is. And then throw in there, on top of it, the lunacy of these dark age religions that are still trying to say, by their book, by their myths of their book, they're still trying to say that women are secondary status throughout society, justified by their book of myths. Deny women equal rights based on this dark age stuff written by ignorant people from 2,000 years ago. And the dark age religions that still say that, gays, geez, they can't do no equal rights for gays, right? Throughout society, based on their myth, written by ignorant people from 2,000 years ago. Well, you'd let out a big sigh of exasperation about how glaringly obvious that those things are all just made up. They're like abstractions. They're to cover up their ignorance about life. And they're about social control. Trying to ways to control people, keep them small-minded in the little box of restraint within the religion, right? But all sorts of other things are fed in there throughout society and culture that are biases and prejudices and whatnot that are just, when you look at it with 21st century attention and reality, you get it. And it's just made up. It's just a myth. It's just a fabrication. And you let it go. You cut through, you could say. You just let it go. You don't agree with it. You don't hold to it anymore. You don't buy into it. You let it go. And by doing so, you progress in your understanding of the real reality, the true reality, the best reality, because it is reality, not myth. And on top of it, it's what you already have within you and have had within you all along. And you find out, oh my God, it doesn't just stop at your skin layer. That awareness, that innate awareness that you define by words like, well, it doesn't have a center. It doesn't have an edge. It's there, but it's not there. It's perceptible and understandable, and you can directly experience it because you already have it, as well as every other living being. It's just the form that they have, but they have it. And all of us together have the same thing of living beings. We're born here, we live for some duration, we die here. We drop this form. And then we all of us, guaranteed, personally will experience death. The dropping of that form. It's guaranteed. Well, what is this thing that you're finding? Is awareness itself. And that liberates you from all those biases and prejudices. And it's on top of it, it's what you already have. You kind of reawaken to it, you could say. And in doing so, bango, it pervades everything around you. It's not just you within you, and then bang, from outside of you to the next living being, there's nothing. There's awareness is this whole reality. Awareness itself. And by yumping Yemeni, you know what? As an offshoot of this, Science, scientific research, physics, quantum mechanics, physics, right? Finding out that's, yes, what's really going on. The quantum entanglement, it was called. And still is we're still kind of implementing that. Because it's there. Well, folks, that's the point, isn't it? You want to know what you're supposed to know in life. You're here, you're born, you live for some duration, you die, and everybody down through time has been saying, what's the purpose? What are we here for? Is there a purpose? Oh, there's something I got to know before I'm guaranteed to kick the bucket and drop this form. And yes, there is. It'll greatly behoove you while you're living, let alone what you'll know about death before you die and be more familiar. Everything's about getting familiar with reality, the natural state of your real awareness that you got within you, and that permeates everything. Everything. You know, the backward view is that, the sperm and the egg, they combine and boo, bingo, bongo, suddenly there's awareness. No, there isn't. It was already there in the sperm, it was already in the egg, it was already in all the space around the two of those entities. It permeates everything. All the sperm and the egg did was set off a biologic reaction that made this system start to unfold and build out and keep building and create, and boom, boom, you got a human. No different than a seed of a plant. These little bitty seeds. You see it in everything. One that's kind of, nowadays, it's still kind of interesting, is look at the size of a seed for a cannabis plant. Cannabis marijuana plant. Let alone a corn plant or a green bean plant or anything of the plant world, and there's a seed. From that little seed, boom, will grow under the right conditions, will develop this biologic process, and it'll have this form. It'll be cannabis. It will be a tomato plant. It will be a corn. It will be green bean. It will be carrots. It'll be all, that's what it is. It'll be a tree that grows way taller than you do and will live way longer than you do. From that little seed. But see, that's just a physical thing. It's a biologic process that happens when you do this, right conditions, takes off. But it's not. Awareness gets started because of germination. Awareness just permeates everything. So it gets you to understand about how pervasive and how extensive this whole experience, this whole thing of the earth, the whole thing of the universe is based on awareness. Awareness itself. And that's what you can know directly. In this lifetime, you can get to know it with direct experience. Now, all you 21st century people who've been, involved with this already, you're getting that. You get it. And you're making the effort on a regular basis, to take that time, set aside all that distraction that's supposed to keep you distracted, advertising, TV, Facebook, Instagram, chit-chat, and anything, all those other things, right? And you take the time out instead to look within you. Because you want to know truth. You want to know reality. You were you're gonna, for some way or other, you were interested in finding out what's really going on. And there is a path. There is a thing to do if you want to know that. It's accessible. And on top of it, what you find out is something that you already had all along. And then what permeates everything and without a beginning or end. Just like it doesn't have a center or an edge or a boundary or a judgment or to think of it, awareness as involved in the samsaric process, and that samsaric word there, is a hindrance. That's not, that's not, you're not getting it yet. Because the real insight is, the real knowledge is, there isn't. That's why it's everything. That's why everything is possible with a huge realm of possibilities. It can be this, it can be that. It can be this at the same time. It's that doing it at the same time over there. Even though they seem to be separated by big distances of time and space. All that's not really there. And that's what you, lucky you, get to understand and directly experience. Pretty dramatic. Pretty dramatic. And yet it's what you already have. It is what is this whole thing that's going on around us and within us. Within us. All the time. Without time. Without start. Without decision. Without judgment. Open. Clear. Absolutely open.